Okay, so on your vacation, you might be choosing a destination in the city, in an urban environment. The way we say this in Spanish is la ciudad. La ciudad. La is the feminine word for the in Spanish. The city. La ciudad. Okay, let's go to the next one. Other travelers may choose the destination of La Playa. La Playa is the beach, okay? So beforehand, we learned the city, La Ciudad, and now we have the beach, La Playa, okay? So remember, la is the feminine word for the. And the reason I say this is because there's a difference between masculine the in Spanish, which is el, and feminine the in Spanish, which is la. Okay, I get more into that in my Spanish for Beginners course, so you don't need to worry about that too much. But if you are visiting a beach town or a beach destination, you are going to La Playa, okay? Vamos a la próxima. Let's go to the next one. Some people on their destination, on their holiday, on their vacation, choose to go to the mountains. Perhaps they are hiking in the Pyrenees or hiking in the Andes in Colombia or in Peru or Ecuador. Okay? There are many different reasons to go to the mountains, and this is an important word to know. The mountains in Spanish are las montañas. I want you to say it together with me. Las montañas, the mountains. Okay, so it's not just one mountain, it's mountains. That's why I put an S at the end of la and montaña, because it becomes plural with the letter S. Now you also see above the N in montañas a squiggly line, and that means that our N becomes N to nya. Okay, that's the sound that it makes. Listen to the difference. Montañas, that's without the squiggly line, and with the squiggly line, the way the word is spelt, montañas, montañas. Okay, the mountains. Great job. Let's keep going. When you are on vacation or holiday, it is important to know how to say the hotel. The great thing is that in Spanish, it is the same word. You just say hotel. In Spanish, we do not pronounce the letter H, so hotel becomes hotel, okay? But you can also say hotel and everyone is going to understand you. A hotel is un hotel, and the hotel is el hotel. Okay, so this one's pretty easy and it's going to be very useful to know in your upcoming travels. During your travels, you may not be spending time at a hotel. Perhaps you are staying at an Airbnb or VRBO or just an apartment or a house that you are renting. The way we say apartment in Spanish is going to be pretty similar to English. Apartment becomes apartamento. Apartamento. Okay, so with these long words in Spanish, sometimes it can be hard to say at first. So if you want to say it slower, or you can segment them based on the syllables. Apartamento. And sometimes I like to clap so I can remember, oh, this is where the spaces are. Apartamento. Okay, apartamento, apartment. And another word that is actually so good to know in general is casa. Casa is house, okay? But it's also translated to home in many cases, house or home. Mi casa, my house. Tu casa, your house. Okay, so you could be staying in a hotel, an apartamento, or a casa. Let's go to the next vocab that is going to be essential during your stay. For your vacation and for this course, it is not necessary to know every room in a house or many different places in an apartment, house, or hotel. But something that I think is necessary is to know the word for the bathroom. Sometimes we don't know where it is, we have to ask for it, and it's essential to know these words. The bathroom in Spanish is el baño. El baño. You might actually already know this word because it's so common even in English-speaking countries. El baño. This word also has that squiggly line over the N, so it becomes el baño. Okay? It has that nya sound. El baño. In this picture, we have a shower. And the shower in Spanish is la ducha. La ducha. Necesito una ducha. I need a shower. Okay? Tomar una ducha. To take a shower. And the second word that I think is important for you to know, but not necessary to memorize, is the mirror. El espejo. El espejo. Now this word, when you're looking at it, can be a little tricky because it has that J. But remember, the J in Spanish makes an H sound in English. El espejo. The mirror. Okay, great job. So now you know el baño is the bathroom, la ducha, the shower, and the mirror, el espejo. When we are staying in our Airbnb, our hotel, our resort, we're going to know certain words in our room, okay? So we already learned the word for bathroom is baño, but our room is el cuarto. Let's say it together. El cuarto. It might also be called la habitación. La habitación. And remember, this is spelled with an H, but we don't pronounce the H in Spanish. So it becomes la habitación or el cuarto. El cuarto is used more for like a room in a house, in someone's personal house. So you might see the word habitación for a hotel. Okay? Then we have the word for bed, which is cama. Cama. And then towel. This is also fundamental vocab that I want you to know. Toalla. 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 Okay? It's kind of a fun word to say. And remember, the double L in Spanish makes a Y sound. Toalla. Okay, so now we know the word for a room in Spanish, which can be el cuarto or la habitación. Some people might also say dormitorio, but I want you to really pay attention to el cuarto and la habitación. There are some other words that might be useful for you on your vacation. You don't need to memorize all of these. However, I definitely suggest remembering la cama, the bed, okay? So this is important if you're at a hotel, maybe you need a queen size bed, a big bed, la cama matrimonial, okay? That's what you would say for a bigger double-sized bed. We also have the lamp, la lámpara. Okay, so this is kind of similar to English, just a little bit longer. La lámpara, it has the word lamp in it. And we also have that accent on the letter A. That's why my voice goes up in tone. La lámpara, the lamp. Okay, if we need to know the word for blanket, we can use manta, manta, or cobija, cobija, okay? And then two more words that are not necessary to memorize, but just good for you to start listening, is for a pillow, almohada. Okay, I'm going to say it a little faster. Almohada. Great job. And then a rug is alfombra. The pillow, almohada. The rug, alfombra. And whenever you see an AL at the beginning of a word in Spanish, you might think, this doesn't sound as Spanish as some other words. That's because all words in Spanish that start with AL come from Arabic, as there was a lot of Arabic influence in Spain where Spanish comes from originally. Okay, so these are fun little tidbits and facts to know. Let's keep going for our vocabulary that we need to know for our vacation.